screwing people's kids, screwing kids young enough to be his grandchildren. Shame on you.
I always talk about date your age, date your age. Well, I want to date my wage. I'm finna shut all this ish down tonight. I want to date my wage.
Stay right there.
Where y'all at?
Beforehand, and he wanted to have sex, and I told him no. I told him no, because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why.
Something strange is happening to Shannon Sharpe. Once seen as the smooth-talking NFL legend turned media powerhouse, Sharpe is now at the center of a full-blown firestorm. Lawsuits, leaked footage, canceled interviews, and whispers of something far more sinister. This isn't just about bad PR. It feels like a takedown, a planned, precise dismantling of his career and reputation. And the most disturbing part, he was warned. When Cat Williams appeared on his podcast and dropped bombshell after bombshell about the entertainment industry, he looked Shannon in the eye and said, "They're coming for you next."
Was Cat, because he told me. He said they're gonna come for you, and I was like, Cat, come on, Cat. I mean, I just, you know.
Most people laughed it off. Shannon did too, until things started unraveling. Fast, deals vanished overnight. A lawsuit from his ex resurfaced with terrifying accusations, and then an accidental Instagram live leak made everything worse.
I know one thing. If you're 54, you have no reason to be talking to a 19-year-old. She's 22 now. Shannon is 56. I'm so glad that audio of Monique went viral yesterday because it's true. Sit your old down and go find somebody your age and build a family with them. As I said yesterday, men, we need stability and we need discipline.
He insisted it was a mistake, but many saw it as a desperate move to deflect rumors that had been brewing for years. And now Jaguar Wright, one of the most feared truth tellers in the industry, claims Shannon's not just caught in a scandal, he's being hunted by powerful people trying to silence him. But why? Why now? And how deep does this go?
It's about to get serious. You know, a lot of people were angry at Shannon Sharpe after his Cat Williams 2024 God Ain't Playing With Y'all interview. A lot of people were angry with him. Matter of fact, there's a lot more people who reached out to him after Cat, who he turned away because he couldn't take the heat. Is everyone forgetting that? And Cat warned him, they're going to come for you. Monique came after that, told him, they about to get you. You better watch who you kicking it with. She told him the kindest, most polite way possible.
From shocking allegations and viral interviews to industry secrets and possible Illuminati ties, we're about to break down the downfall of Shannon Sharpe, and it might be more calculated than anyone realizes. Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear might change how you see one of sport's biggest icons forever. It all started with an interview that broke the internet. When Cat Williams sat down with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay, viewers expected laughs, maybe a few wild stories, but what they got was a raw, unfiltered expose on Hollywood's darkest secrets. Cat didn't hold back. He called out names, hinted at sinister agendas, and even mocked the very people who control the industry from the shadows. But what most people missed was the moment he turned to Shannon and delivered a chilling warning. They're going to come for you next. It didn't sound like a joke. It sounded like prophecy. Shannon laughed it off in the moment, brushing it aside like nothing. But behind the scenes, everything started to change. Brands pulled out, sponsors ghosted him, major celebrities who had lined up to appear on his show suddenly disappeared with no explanation. Even his team admitted the vibe shifted after that episode. One minute, Shannon's podcast was the hottest in the game, and the next, it was like a silent blacklist had been activated. And Cat wasn't done. He went live days later, claiming Shannon had underestimated how far they were willing to go.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TGJ, any of them, all lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get one here.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, well, why did he get blackballed?
Yeah,
because
I was gonna ask you that.
because in 30 years I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. Something you wasn't supposed to be doing.
You will tell it.
That this wasn't just media drama, it was retaliation. And suddenly, everything started to make sense. The timing, the silence, the chaos that followed, it was all there, unfolding right after that interview. But Kat's warning was just the beginning, because what happened next pushed Shannon into even darker territory. Behind the scenes, Shannon Sharpe's world was crumbling, and fast. While the public focused on viral clips and reaction videos, something deeper was going on. According to insiders close to the Club Shay Shay team, things took a dramatic turn in the weeks following the Cat Williams interview. Suddenly, confirmed guests pulled out last minute. Business deals that were already signed off mysteriously fell through. Sponsors stopped returning calls. Shannon himself admitted in later interviews that people were treating him differently. Big-name celebrities who once begged for a seat on his show were now acting like he didn't exist. The shift was so obvious. Even casual fans noticed the silence, and it didn't feel like coincidence. It felt calculated. People began whispering about a blacklist, about powerful industry figures quietly pulling strings behind the scenes. Then came the cryptic messages. Shannon hinted on his podcast that certain forces were trying to isolate him, saying, "They're not calling back. They're not showing up. Something changed." And the timing couldn't have been more suspicious. Right after he dared to give Cat Williams and later Monique a platform to speak truth, the doors that had been wide open started slamming shut. It was as if he broke an unwritten rule, and now he was paying the price. But while Shannon was still reeling from the sudden cold shoulder from Hollywood, a much bigger storm was brewing. And this time, it wasn't about guests canceling. It was about a lawsuit that could destroy everything he built. As the fallout continued, one name kept resurfacing: Jaguar Wright. A fierce industry whistleblower known for exposing powerful figures, Jaguar was reportedly next in line to appear on Club Shay Shay. But before the interview could happen, everything around Shannon started to collapse. Word spread that the industry had caught wind of the planned episode, and suddenly, chaos followed. Jaguar didn't stay silent. She came forward with bold claims that Shannon was being silenced by the same elite forces that had tried to shut her down. According to her, Shannon's willingness to platform voices like Kat and Monique made him a threat, someone who could no longer be controlled. And she didn't stop there. Jaguar claimed Shannon had been messing with powerful industry players behind the scenes, and now they were using his personal life to destroy him. She pointed to a sudden surge in media coverage, resurface of old legal claims, and the exact kind of smear campaigns the industry is known for when someone steps out of line. But what really raised eyebrows was her suggestion that the lawsuit from Shannon's ex, Michelle, wasn't a coincidence. It was strategy, a coordinated takedown. She even hinted that Shannon's own desire to interview her may have triggered the final decision to get rid of him. The timing, the silence, the scandals, it was all lining up too perfectly. But Jaguar wasn't just there to protect Shannon, she also had a message of her own. And it wasn't exactly flattering.
But why is nobody paying attention to? They're talking about money. 10 million offered to be quiet. She asked for 25,000 for the SCX. He wants 100 million for defamation and whoopty-whoopty-woo and all of this. Why is nobody talking about the simple fact that this is a man that's pushing 60 who's messing with a girl that's barely old enough to drink?
While Jaguar Wright exposed the possible industry plot, the lawsuit that truly rocked Shannon's image came roaring back into the spotlight, one that had been buried for nearly a year. Most people were focused on Gabriella's lawsuit, the one that first made headlines in early 2024. But in reality, another woman, Michelle, Shannon's ex-girlfriend of over a decade, had filed a case way back in 2023, and her allegations were far more disturbing. According to court documents, Michelle accused Shannon of serious misconduct during a heated confrontation in 2010. She claimed their argument escalated after she discovered Shannon had been cheating on her.
Shannon asked me to break up with my husband. And I don't recall for sure, but I think I did. And so, it's like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it stemmed from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person. It just doesn't work that way. Not for me anyway.
Even after she'd left her husband at his request, the lawsuit alleged that during their confrontation, Shannon forced himself on her in ways she repeatedly objected to, both verbally and physically. Michelle painted a dark picture, one of emotional manipulation, physical intimidation, and threats that followed for years. But the most unsettling detail? She had tried to go to the police, but Shannon allegedly used his influence to scare her into silence. She even claimed he sent people to her house to intimidate her, forcing her to drop the restraining order out of fear for her child's safety.
What happened that day? It was fighting, and usually we fought on the phone and not in person. So it was the biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me.
And now, more than a decade later, the case had resurfaced, right as Shannon was being dragged in the media again. To many, the timing was too precise to be random. This wasn't just personal, it felt political. And it raised the biggest question yet. Was someone pulling the strings to ensure Shannon Sharpe would never recover? Michelle's story wasn't just another headline. It was a full-blown nightmare, told in chilling detail. In her interview, she recounted how things spiraled during that infamous night in 2010. What started as a confrontation over Shannon's infidelity quickly escalated into something much darker. She said Shannon became aggressive, controlling, and physical. According to her, he forced her into acts she clearly said no to. She described how he overpowered her, shoved her onto her knees, and forced himself into her mouth, ignoring her verbal protests.
He wouldn't take no for an answer, so he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his mouth, and after he got enough of that, he put me on the bed. And, this was all a struggle. So I had said no, and I said no, even though I was thinking that. And so it was the hardest. Yeah, this is too hard.
But it didn't stop there. She claimed he then threw her onto the bed and violated her again, telling her, "I'm going to make it so no other man will want you." That line alone sent shockwaves through anyone listening. After the alleged assault, Michelle said she was terrified to go to the authorities. Shannon, according to her, made it clear. If she talked, he'd ruin her life. She described multiple threats and even claimed that men showed up at her house, pounding on her door and warning her to keep quiet. She had a child in the home. Out of fear, she dropped the restraining order. And for years, she stayed silent. But when Gabriella's case hit the news, Michelle's trauma resurfaced. And this time, she wasn't going to hide. Her story reopened old wounds, but it also sparked new outrage. And as the internet reacted, many began to ask, if this is just one woman's story, how many others could be out there, still too afraid to speak? Just when the firestorm seemed like it couldn't get any worse, Shannon Sharpe himself added fuel to it, whether he meant to or not. Out of nowhere, an Instagram live session went viral. And it wasn't because of what he said, it was who viewers believed he was trying to address. The clip was chaotic, strange, and full of nervous energy. Shannon repeatedly emphasized, "It was Michelle, not Michael," a line that instantly caught the internet's attention.
You ain't gay today?
Hey, listen.
I said, man.
Hey, listen.
Said, come on, cat. He's
and this is the funny thing about it. Now you remember all the people talking trash and saying whatever they had to say, trying to assassinate your character, that you might be this, you might be this, or whatever it may be. So hell, I mean, I'm sitting back, I'm thinking, well, hey, it was a goddamn Michelle, it wasn't a Michael. Huh? You hear me? It wasn't a Michelle. It was, it wasn't a Michael. It was a Michelle.
Theories exploded. Was this his attempt to shut down long-standing rumors about his personal life? Was he trying to redirect the narrative away from the lawsuits and back to gossip? Or was this some kind of damage control gone horribly wrong? Whatever the reason, it backfired. Spectators weren't convinced. In fact, many said the entire live stream felt like a setup, like Shannon was desperately trying to control a situation that had already spiraled out of his hands. The comment section lit up with confusion, memes, and more conspiracy theories than ever. Was he hacked? Was he trying to manipulate public perception? Or was he sending a cryptic message to someone watching behind the scenes?
But guys, this was not staged. Came in, I threw my phone on the bed, engaged in an activity.
I did not know IG Live. I've never been on IG Live. I've never turned IG Live on. So I don't know how it works.
The line between PR strategy and meltdown became increasingly blurry, and instead of silencing the rumors, the live stream only amplified them. Suddenly, the world wasn't just questioning his legal battles, they were questioning his state of mind. But what came next made that viral moment look like a mere distraction, because attention quickly shifted to a new controversy, one that involved a girl half his age. As the lawsuits and livestream dominated headlines, another disturbing revelation exploded across social media. Shannon Sharpe was allegedly involved with a woman barely out of her teens. The age gap? Nearly 40 years. And once fans did the math, the backlash was swift and brutal. Many were stunned to learn that while Shannon is pushing 60, the young woman at the center of the controversy is just over 20, barely old enough to drink legally. Critics pointed out that Shannon's own children are older than her. Jaguar Wright didn't hold back either. She slammed Shannon for what she called predatory behavior, reminding viewers that this young woman is still in a vulnerable stage of life and that powerful men like Shannon should know better. Her message was clear.
So you messing with this girl who's a child. This man has children older than this girl. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
His daughters are 32, son is 30.
And he keeps getting online. And somebody want to apologize to my family. No, you don't. Because you would stop. You got busted out. You did whatever you did on Instagram.
This wasn't just a bad look. It was dangerous. Fans echoed her outrage, dragging Shannon online and questioning what kind of mindset would justify such a relationship. Memes, reaction videos, and heated debates erupted across platforms, with people calling it everything from morally wrong to straight-up grooming. But the most damning part, Shannon had previously joked on his show about being afraid of dating young white women because of how easily things could go south. And now he was living that exact scenario. Whether it was reckless behavior or part of a larger setup, the optics were devastating. And as the pressure mounted, people started asking a bigger question. Was Shannon Sharpe being targeted? Or was he simply exposing himself, one mistake at a time? By this point, the Shannon Sharpe controversy had spiraled beyond personal scandal. It started to look like a calculated collapse. The sudden loss of sponsorships, the resurfacing of lawsuits, the media silence from former allies. It all felt too organized, too timely, and many began connecting the dots, pointing to the powerful figures behind the scenes who might have had a hand in it. Shannon's rapid rise with Club Shay Shay made him a major voice in media. But with that power came risk, especially when he began platforming voices the industry wanted silenced. Cat Williams, Monique, and potentially Jaguar Wright. These weren't just controversial guests, they were whistleblowers, truth tellers, and Shannon gave them a stage. That move alone may have sealed his fate. Some fans believe Shannon broke the unwritten rules of Hollywood by allowing unfiltered, unsanctioned stories to go mainstream. And just like that, the takedown began. Jaguar herself hinted that powerful gatekeepers, some with ties to the NFL, entertainment networks, and elite media groups, had flipped the switch on Shannon. The goal? Silence him, discredit him, and erase his influence before he went any further. Others pointed at Jay-Z's deep NFL connections, wondering aloud if Shannon's support from the league had quietly evaporated. Was this karma or coordination? And if Shannon had unknowingly stepped into enemy territory, could he survive it? The more people investigated, the clearer it became. This wasn't just about a few bad choices. It was about power, protection, and what happens when you threaten the wrong people in the industry. As the scandal deepened, Jaguar Wright stepped back into the spotlight with even more explosive claims, this time drawing a direct line between Shannon Sharpe's downfall and the dark underbelly of the entertainment industry. She didn't just say Shannon was being silenced, she claimed he was being targeted by the very same forces that once came after her, and Cat Williams. In a passionate rant, Jaguar revealed that Cat had nearly been unalived by Hollywood insiders after speaking out. She alleged there were shadowy figures who operated behind the scenes, people with power, money, and influence, who would stop at nothing to maintain control. And now, according to her, Shannon was in their crosshairs. She even claimed that Kat once gave her $20,000 as a down payment on her voice, encouraging her to speak truth no matter the consequences. These weren't just industry feuds, they were part of what she described as a broader system of control, manipulation, and intimidation. Jaguar warned that the industry had patterns. First they tempt you, then they use you, and when you stop cooperating, they break you. Shannon's massive deal with the NFL, his podcast success, his access to powerful guests, Jaguar suggested it all came with strings attached. And now that he was cutting those strings, they were retaliating, publicly and brutally. Her warning to fans was clear. Don't just look at the headlines. Look at who benefits from Shannon's collapse. Because this might not just be a scandal, it might be a ritual takedown of someone who dared to go off script. With everything collapsing around him, fans couldn't help but focus on the staggering cost of Shannon Sharpe's downfall, not just in reputation, but in real dollars. Just months before the chaos, Shannon was reportedly negotiating massive media deals, with figures floating around the $100 million mark. His podcast was thriving, his brand partnerships were booming, and he had become one of the most respected voices in modern sports and culture commentary. But all of that is now in jeopardy. In a matter of weeks, his reputation took a nosedive. Major sponsors went silent. His media value plummeted. One fan on social media summed it up harshly. He survived the NFL just to fumble generational wealth over a 20-year-old and a podcast episode. Others pointed to his repeated missteps, dating someone half his age, getting too close to controversial guests, and going live at the worst possible time, as signs of self-sabotage. But was it really that simple? Or was this all a trap carefully laid by people who knew exactly how to take him down? Whether it was arrogance, recklessness, or a setup, the result is the same. Shannon Sharpe is no longer the untouchable media figure he once was. And as the lawsuits mount, the silence from his former allies grows louder, and new accusations keep surfacing, many believe the damage is beyond repair. He didn't just lose a few deals, he lost the empire he spent decades building. And in the eyes of many, the question now isn't if he'll recover, it's if he was ever supposed to survive this at all. At this point, it's hard to deny that Shannon Sharpe's fall from grace feels less like a series of accidents and more like a full-blown takedown. From Cat Williams' eerie warning to the sudden loss of deals, resurfaced lawsuits, viral live streams, and accusations that span decades, the entire situation has spiraled into something much bigger than celebrity gossip. This isn't just about Shannon's bad decisions. It's about how fast the industry can turn on someone when they stop playing by the rules. Was he arrogant? Possibly. Reckless? Some would say so. But the deeper question remains. Was Shannon Sharpe silenced because he gave a voice to people the industry wanted erased? Did his platform become too powerful, too unpredictable, too honest? Because once he let Cat Williams and Monique speak freely, once Jaguar Wright's name got attached to his show, things moved fast, and none of it in his favor. The timing, the patterns, the silence from corporate backers, it all paints a chilling picture of how power really operates in Hollywood. Whether you believe Shannon is guilty of every allegation or simply a victim of the system, one thing's clear: his story is a warning. In this world, telling the truth, or even platforming it, can come with a price. And for Shannon Sharpe, that price may have been everything he built. But now it's your turn to weigh in. Was this karma, conspiracy, or a calculated collapse? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out the next video breaking down the secrets they don't want you to hear.